Morning. Alright, I have a plan for today. I have a goal and a plan. So that's what everybody needs. My goal today is to start planting some soybeans. My plan has got to be executed properly, otherwise that won't happen, because I have a lot of things to do before I can get to that step of planting today. And naturally, they're calling for rain tomorrow. So I have a lot of things that have to fall into place in order for me to plant. Number one, I need to take the little tractor around. I'm going to try planting a couple small fields here in the home farm. But I need to take the little tractor, run around, rock bucket them, get the rocks picked. And I might do a few fields just to be on the safe side. And then I need to drive the little tractor all the way down to our holly farm, leave the little tractor there to bring the big tractor home to unhook the disc, hook up to the field cultivator, pull that up to the barn because the packer still needs a couple scrapers put on them and adjusted. Once that's done, then I can go hit those fields that I rock bucket with the field cultivator, get those ready to plant. Come back to the farm, get the planters aired up, backed out, unfolded, finish switching it over to beans, and then I have to hook up to the seed tender, pull the seed tender out, get the planters filled, and then I can possibly, hopefully, start planting some soybeans. But like I said, there's a lot that needs to be done before I get to that point, and it's not only a lot of little stuff, but it's also a lot of time-consuming stuff. By the time I get, it's going to take me an hour or two to rock bucket. It's going to take me an hour just to drive the big tractor home. It'll take me probably another hour of, getting it hooked up and messing with those scrapers to where I can go fit the fields. I'm going to spend probably 3 or 4 hours fitting the fields, and then I probably have another at least an hour switching the planters over to beans, and I don't know how long it's going to take to fill them. Shouldn't take that long, maybe a half hour to fill them, and then maybe I can start planting. But in the meantime, tractors are going to need fuel, things are going to need to get greased. You won't know where I'm going with this. So, like I said, it's a lot of little things that have to fall into place in order for this to happen. But we're gonna try our darndest to get it done. The few little fields that I want to do are not going to be really big fields, so those will go quick. But it's, another thing, I have to put the forks on before I leave with the rock bucket. I got to put the forks on and move one of the mats from the lumberjack people so I can finish planting or working up that ground and get that planted. That's another thing I forgot that needs to be done. All right, I'm gonna get crack-a-lackin'. Look at that, 20 after 8. I'm doing good. I'm done rock bucketing. Now to drive this down to the holly farm, grab the big tractor and bring that back. And then we can pull the disc off of it, hook it up to the field cultivator and get that up and going so I can field cultivate some fields. I'm ahead of schedule. In my mind, I was thinking if I got the tractor back by 10:30, we'll be good. Now in my mind is if I'm working ground by 10, I'm doing good. I am currently stuck on the side of the road because of the fact that this gentleman is parked here and I can't get between his truck and the trees and the mailbox. If he wouldn't have parked directly across from the tree and mailbox, then I could have went by him, but I've got no room, and he's somewhere in this compound spreading fertilizer on lawn, I would assume. But yeah, he needs to move. So if you're a landscaper or a fertilizer guy or something like that, even a person driving down the road, and I find this a lot, if you want to pull over and let a farm tractor by, which we appreciate, just look directly across from you and make sure there's no trees, mailboxes, anything like that, because we won't fit between your car and that obstacle there. So that's just something to keep in mind. So I've been sitting here for 15 minutes now. I called the company, told them the truck number and everything, and talked to them, and they were going to get a hold of the driver to get the driver out here to move the van, and well. Alright, I made it back to the farm, and it is now almost 10 o'clock. Because of the fact that guy, he moved for me, you know, he was really apologetic, super nice guy. I get it. I mean, people don't think about this stuff coming down the road when they park on the side of the road and stuff. I understand. It was just frustrating for me. But on the way back, there was a dump truck parked on one of the dirt roads, and he wasn't even all the way over. He was like in the lane, stopped. So I come to a complete stop in front of him, put the tractor in park. I was just about ready to get out of the tractor when he saw me. So then he had to start the truck, let it air up before he could move, and it was just like, come on, people. So yeah, that's about how my day's going so far. Alright, it is 10:50, and I'm getting to the field and unfolding now. So, I don't think I'm doing too bad. Not where I want to be, but not doing too bad on time. I need to have these fields, I'm guessing, I need to have these fields done and ready to plant by between 2 and 3 o'clock. That way it would give me about an hour of messing around with the planters, getting them ready and filled. And I want to be planting by 4 o'clock at the latest. Doing a good job. It's smoothing it out like I want it to. So that's a good thing. I got a nice flat seed bed for the planters to run over. I did have to make a minor adjustment to the field cultivator, and that's because of the fact that we were running field cultivator to plant corn without the packer, and then you add the packer. I had to adjust the levelness of it with the weight of the packer on the back of the machine. Think of it as your pickup truck. Your pickup truck sits level, and then when you add weight to it, it squats it. Well, same concept. We had the field cultivator level for doing the corn ground, and then you add the weight of the tongue on the back of it from the packer, and it wanted to squat the back a little bit, so I had to level it back out again. But that's not a big deal. Just a couple minor turns with a wrench and it's level again. So it's doing a nice job. I'm changing my tactics. I got that field done. It's ready to be planted, and it's about a 30-acre field, right around there. I think, because I was going to go break open another 50 acres and plant it all tonight, but my issue is when you run the packer over ground like this and it gets rained on and you're not able to plant it before it gets rained on, what the packer does is lock moisture in the ground, so it takes longer for it to dry out. So that's why you always want to plant right after you pack some ground before it rains. And I don't know, because of these planters are still new to us, and I have never planted soybeans with them, I don't know if I'm going to run into any issues with the planters themselves. So I'm going to go plant that 30 acres that I just finished and got ready. And then if there's enough time in the day after I work out bugs and things like that out of the planters, then I'll go hit that 50-acre field with this and plant it. But I think I'm going to try and get what I got done first to make sure there's no issues with the planter. We are planting soybeans. It is 3 o'clock and this is my first round. Everything seems to be going all right. I'm pretty close to target population. All the rows are planting, and they're planting at the depth that they should be planting. The biggest pain in the butt was changing that hitch. I had to switch, the position of the hitch. That was the biggest pain in the butt on changing the planters over. But other than that, it went pretty smoothly. I did, however, notice, because I went back there and was digging through the rows to make sure it was planting the right depth and things like that. I did notice a couple corn seeds there that I didn't get cleaned out. Oopsie. Another thing you're supposed to do is adjust the length of those markers. But since I'm only using the markers to do headlands, I'm not terribly worried about them right now. I think they're more important for corn than they are soybeans. So that's what they're set up for, is corn. My auto steer's not working. As soon as I turn it on, it says steer sensor fault, and then ends up shutting it off. Garbage. Maybe I got a sensor unplugged or something. I'll have to look at the end of this row. Back to working ground. I got all that planted. And the field I wanted to do today before the rain, I don't feel there's enough time for me to do it. So I changed my tactics and moved to a different field that's a little bit smaller that I can work up and get planted yet tonight. Back to planting. The sun going down and the glare in my eyes and the dust on the window are not a good combination. It's hard to see that one edge. Well, considering all the farting around I had to do today, and switching that over and going and getting the tractor and getting held up on the road and working ground, and I had a couple minor breakdowns that I had to fix and address. All in all, 53 acres is not a bad day considering everything that I had to do to get the 53 in. And look, it's still daylight out. I mean, granted, it's like 8:30, but it's still daylight. They're talking rain tomorrow. I don't know how much rain, if any, because it seems like they've been saying rain, 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 and we get some sprinkles, and that's about it. But at any rate, hopefully we don't get a lot of rain, because I still have to spray pre-emergent on what I planted, but within the next 5 days. So hopefully I can do that. If not, well, we'll just have to spray a little earlier. But all right, I'm gonna go home and eat some dinner and edit some videos, because this is number 3 that needs to be edited. And if it rains tomorrow, I'll spend most of the day editing a video, probably. Videos. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you in the next one.